Come into the kitchen with me. We'll cook up something yummy, savory, spicy, or sweet, to satisfy your tummy each and every week. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for In the Kitchen with Miss Paula Harmonica Mama, and it's gonna be yummy. Good afternoon, and today I'm going to be making a Low Cal Enchilada dish, and I'm going to start it in the crock pot. So I'm going to put in a couple of chicken breasts, and I'm going to cook them on high. I got two, so I'm going to cook them on high 4.5 hours. We'll check it at 4 hours and see if it needs to be any longer. But what I'm going to do is shred the chicken, so it's going to have to be done enough to shred. So I'm going to go ahead and get the chicken in the crock pot. I'm going to put it on high. Yes, I do have it plugged in. Hope you all are ready for or have survived by the time you see this on Wednesday. Today's actually Friday, so we're getting ready for the big storm here in southern Ohio. So I'm going to cook this in a half a cup. Normally I use chicken broth, but I don't have any chicken broth on hand. But that's all right, because the other day I made a bunch of turkey broth. I had a big old turkey carcass. So I've got a half a cup of turkey broth. I'm going to stick that in there and get it started, because it's already about 1:30, so I'm kind of running behind today. All right, but I'm also going to add taco seasoning to that, but I'm going to make my own taco seasoning. And I'm going to put the link to the place where I got this recipe, or at least where I started it from. It's called Lose Weight by Eating. And I've run across a bunch of nice recipes from there that I've played around with it and adapted somewhat. So anyway, I'm going to make, and you could just use regular taco seasoning, and you just need a few tablespoons. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make up a bunch. So I'm going to start with a quarter a cup of chili powder, but this time there it is. Okay, so this time I'm going to use this chili lime seasoning blend that I bought when I was at Trader Joe's a couple of weeks ago. So we'll just take the lid off of that, put in a quarter a cup. It smells really good. I tasted it the other day, and you can get like, whoops, a hint of lime in there. I think they have like lime zest. There we go. I've got that taken care of. And I'm going to also put in a quarter a cup of garlic powder. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. And then we'll add couple of tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And of course cumin. And that's going to run me low on cumin. Alexa, put cumin on the grocery list, please.
Cumin's been added to the grocery list.
Thank you.
Now you're all set to add some spice to your life.
And a tablespoon of paprika.
Paprika's been added to the grocery list. Your spice rack's about to get a serious upgrade.
Thank you, Alexa. I don't need anything more on the list.
You're welcome. Your spice collection is going to be amazing.
She cracks me up. Okay, and then I'm going to add a half a tablespoon just to give it a little bit of extra kick. So this might be a spicy dish of red cayenne pepper. And then we're going to put in some salt and pepper. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of ground pepper. This is always fun. I just keep this on hand, and I usually have remade it by now. But when the chicken's done and I shred it up, I'll make a tomato-based sauce to put on it. And shred some cheese, and then we'll talk about that more too. But I also use the low carb tortilla wraps. Okay, I think that's about right, and let's do about a half a tablespoon. I'm not gonna put that much salt in. Just there. That's about probably about a teaspoon and a half. Okay, so we'll put the lid on this. And let's just shake it up here. Alrighty. So I'm going to throw in a couple of tablespoons of this. Yeah. All right. Put the lid back on. Okay, and I'll see you in a few hours. Like I said, I'm going to have this on for about 4.5 hours. So we'll see you later. Okay, the chicken is ready. So I have it, I've already shredded it up and it's ready to go, but I need to make the sauce for it first. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here just a little bit closer to the stove. Alrighty. And to help keep it low cal, I'm going to spray the bottom of this with some olive oil spray. And I'm going to put in a clove of chopped up garlic. And we've also got an onion. So we'll just stick that in there. We'll use the cilantro later. And if I had fresh thyme, I would put in about a teaspoon of fresh thyme, but I don't. So I'm going to put in like about 3/4 of a teaspoon there of ground thyme. So I'm just going to let those onions saute a little bit there. Till they get translucent. That always smells so good. Okay, well, I'm just going to put, actually I'm just going to put some of this.
Let's get cooking to some music.
Alexa, stop. I'm going to put some of this juice from the, here's the hot pads, crock pot on that chicken. So it didn't dry out while we're doing all of this. There we go. Stir it up there a little bit. Okay, so we're going to let this, whoops, drop the hot pad. Get translucent here. It's starting to smell good. And I'll be right back with you because I've got to get one more thing here. Okay. My onion and garlic and stuff is ready. So to that, I'm going to add a can of crushed tomatoes. Stir that up really good, and then I'm going to add about, not that much, half a teaspoon of allspice, and then I'm going to have fun. When I saw these on cooking shows, these emulsifier things, I just thought, oh man, those are so cool. So this is, so I'm going to play with this for a minute. I'll turn this off in the meantime. Let me get rid of this. The cilantro there is actually to put on top of the enchiladas once I get them out of the oven. So, so now we're going to the next step. And the first thing we need to do is we're going to heat up. I'm going to move this over here for right now. We're going to heat up our tortillas. And I'm going to use damp paper towels. And I'm going to do like 4 at a time. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm using these low carb soft tortillas. So I'm going to put 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 8 in this bag. I'm going to warm them in the microwave this time. So, whoops, I almost hit myself in the head with it. We're going to leave it in there for 30 seconds. And then I'll do the second set of them. So, this has been one of our favorites as well. And I kind of ran across it when Bernie was really wanting to eat really, really low carb. And like I said, I'll put the address in the comments, but this is from loseweightbyeating.com, I think. Hang on a second, let's get these out. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have 2 plates. All right, so I have these. Now I'm going to do the next 4. And I'm kind of anxious to see how the chili lime works instead of just plain chili powder. Now I think their recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, but I grated a little bit more than that because we like a lot of cheese. So, but it's really quite yummy. It makes 8 tortillas, and of course the 2 of us will not eat all of that tonight. But it will be something we can warm up tomorrow for lunch, maybe. Okay, I'm going to move these back over here and cover them back up for right now. Because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1/4 cup of this sauce that we made. And I'm going to pour it in. Actually, I'll sneak a little bit more in. I'm going to pour it in the shredded chicken. So while I was waiting on that to cook, I went ahead and washed up some of the dishes. Bernie's real nice. You know, we've got a deal. I cook and he washes dishes, but I don't think it's fair for him to wash all the stuff that I used to cook with. So I cleaned out the crock pot and the cheese grater and a few other things. Do you think I dropped something there on the floor? All right, I have that mixed up. Now, I'm going to I've got some of that spray olive oil in this casserole dish. And we'll take a spoonful or so of this sauce, spread it on the bottom. Okie dokie. And then I'm going to start building my tortillas. So I'm going to take some chicken. And some cheese. And then I am going to, let's move this one over a little bit. I'm going to wrap them up. And lay them in the bottom of the casserole dish. I'll do a couple and then I'll pause. And I always put the folded side down. Okay, I'll be right back with you in a little bit. All right, we are back with you. Okay, so now we're going to take the rest of this sauce and just pour it all over the rest of this casserole dish. And then we're going to top it with cheese. Like I said, I always add a bit of extra cheese. Now I'm going to stick it in a 400-degree oven. And I'm going to leave it in there, probably about 15 minutes or so, while the all the stuff combined here melts and gets bubbly. So we'll be back with you. Oops. Alrighty, we're getting ready to take this out of the oven. Woo! Turn that off. Whoops. Knocking stuff over there. Okay. So here are our enchiladas. Thank you, babe. Okay.
We'll release that.
That's supposed to be yummy.
Yeah, yummy, yummy.
All right, come on, sit down.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna have to swing around here just a little bit so we can see Bernie.
There we go.
Okay, well, we have guacamole, and in a future time I will tell you how I make this guacamole and what this neat little deal is that I've made it in. We got sour cream and cilantro. So grab you a piece of enchilada there.
Okay. It's one of my favorites.
And we're also doing, having a little bit of black bean soup on the side. Do you want sour cream or?
Yeah, I'll take some sour cream.
Okay. I'll just get it from this side because it's closer.
There you go.
Yeah. And a little bit of guac. And you can put anything on top of this that you want. This is just what I happen to have. We kind of waited a little bit too late to go to the grocery store, so we're a little bit limited because we've got that big snowstorm coming. Well, and I'll let's give it a bite there.
Okay.
It is quite hot. That is yummy.
Mmm. Perfect. Awesome.
So remember to share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you later. So the other night after I got done recording the enchilada video, my phone ran out of juice. By the time my phone got recharged, I was out of juice. So we're going to do this right now. So long. See you later. You gotta try making that enchilada. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Cook something yummy in the meantime.